Hey guys, it's Mr. Jack and 000 here, back with Automation the Car Company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds called the People's Car Poverty Edition. This affordable, but unreliable, two-passenger car was targeted to families who were struggling to make a living wage. This car was the most mass-produced automobile in the world because of its extremely low price tag and simplicity, despite having a mediocre engine, which was the downside to this car. Also about this vehicle, this might be the cheapest non-modded car in automation ever as of right now. Stay tuned for the price of the car and how I made it cheap later on in the video. It has a lap time of 3 minutes 51 seconds 43 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track, and 7 minutes 27 seconds 54 milliseconds at the automation track, and a top speed of 36.7 miles per hour. This vehicle uses a 295cc inline-3 engine that produces 5.7 horsepower and 14.3 foot-pounds of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of 34 miles per gallon, weighs 1,409.4 pounds or 639.3 kilograms, and costs an unbeatable $3,570. And for the market, due to the low cost of the vehicle and how simple it was made, it doesn't compete with anyone in the market. In terms of how I created the People's Car, the panel material will be made out of steel with a ladder chassis also made out of steel, with a front transverse engine, and both the front and rear suspensions are made out of solid axle leaf. What sucks that these parts on here are not even highlighted. I think it's because I made a second trim model, which that is a sports edition of the People's Car. If this video gets 75 likes, I will cover the sports edition of the People's Car. It'll be a little bit faster, but also cheap as the People's Car Poverty Edition right here. It'll probably be like $100, $200 more, but it'll still be slow as hell. For the engine, it is an inline-3 cast iron engine with the bore and stroke set to an even 50 millimeters with push rod headers also made out of cast iron. The crank con rods and pistons are all made out of cast, and everything you see here is at -15 on the quality. The reason why I lowered the quality is to reduce the materials cost, production units, and engineering time. These are the three main factors of the deciding cost of the vehicle. If it's like whatever, the materials cost be like $10,000, $20,000, that car will probably be worth like $60,000, $70,000 or something. For the compression, it is at somewhat of a normal 9.7:1 with the cam profile set to a 27 with no VVT because VVT is way too advanced at our facility. For the fuel system, we're using a single barrel eco carburetor with a race intake because if you use a standard intake, it'll increase the materials cost and slightly increase the production units. So I went for a race intake to reduce both the cost and production units of this vehicle. And what's even more worse, this runs on ultimate fuel. It sucks that this fuel, it's not even available anywhere. This is probably hell to those people who have to get gas with this vehicle. I should have rethinked this. Fuel mixture is set as is to 14.2 with the ignition timing lowered it down to 33 and the RPM limit set to 2100 RPM. So the real reason I lowered it is because if you increase the RPM limit, you'll be increasing the engineering time of the engine. So it's best to keep it as low as possible but reasonably powerful. I mean, 6 horsepower ain't enough. It's got cast log headers running a single exhaust with the exhaust diameter set to the lowest of 12.7 millimeters or not even an inch in diameter, with no catalytic converters, no mufflers, none of that. For the drive type, our only option is a front wheel drive with a manual 2-speed of the top speed set at 36.7 miles per hour. For the tires, we're using cross-ply hard long life tires with the front and rear tire width set at 85 millimeters, running on 10-inch steel rims with the lowest tire diameter possible of 480 millimeters. For the brakes, they're both drum brakes with 160 millimeters for the front and back with comfort brake pads and a pretty high brake bias. For the interior, instead of making this a single seater, I decided to put in 2 low quality seats with a basic interior with no entertainment. It's got no power steering, no traction aids, and no safety whatsoever. And for the suspension, pretty much basic. Standard springs, twin tube dampers, our only option is a passive sway bar running on a normal preset with the sway bars removed. Despite a few problems on here, such as the engine being underpowered, some understeering, some very high tire profile, and the rear tires being extremely narrow, we're going to export this to BeamNG.drive and test it out. So here we are at the map of Italy, and taking a look at this car, I kind of based it off the infamous Yugo. Instead of having the Yugo lettering right here, instead of it replaced it with the i3 badge, meaning it's got an inline 3 engine. In terms of the front of the vehicle, it's got the resemblance of the Yugo, including this little black plastic piece here, and the body. It's mostly based off the Yugo, except for the missing windows right here. It's all covered up, thinking it's like a cargo vehicle, but it's not. It's just a vehicle for the poor people. And including these badges here, I made them nice and big so people would know what type of car they're driving and what car they should consider on getting. Including the little PE right here, meaning the poverty edition of the people's car. So now, let's take a drive with this vehicle. Let's hit the gas now. Yo. Oh my god. Really? 10 seconds and 7.5 seconds. So 10 miles an hour in 7.5 seconds. Oh, mixed up my words there. Or it can't shift. It's got 2 gears and it can't shift. Hold up. Go to realistic. Right here. Upshift. Oh no. Oh no, it's gonna stall. We're 19 miles an hour and... Yo, I'm gonna get you here, this engine. It's literally gonna stall out on me. It's literally going to stall me. We're losing speed in second gear. 9, 8 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour, 6, 5. We're gonna be stuck at this hill. Look at this, we're gonna be stuck at this hill in second gear. Alright, 1, 0. And now we're going backwards. We are going backwards in second gear up a hill. Look at this, man. If you got traffic behind you, you're gonna hit them and you're gonna be bringing out the checkbook and definitely gonna increase your insurance premium through the roof. So let's go back to first gear. And can we get this up the hill or no? So we're slowly losing speed. I'm not going to brake. I'm just going to let the car do its thing by accelerating. So now we're painstakingly going uphill. We're revving around 1500 RPM. Slowly going up the hill. Man, this is stupid, man. I swear. Oh, and I got an idea. Get an external view and just take a look at this thing going. Here's the front. And here is the back. And... Yo, look at those tires versus this vehicle, man. I mean, look at these tires, man. They look too small for this vehicle. One more look. Look at the tires and look at the vehicle. You'd think you would expect like 135mm tires on here, but instead, we went cheap and put some 85s on it. Man, this is dumb. 2, we haven't reached 8 miles an hour up this hill, so going uphill, good luck, because... You're not gonna be going places with this vehicle, man, I swear. Wait, finally reached 8 miles an hour. This is horrible, man. Who would buy this car? I mean, it's cheap and everything, but I think the poor man will regret how cheap, how underwhelming this vehicle is. I'd rather just have a horse instead. Except for a horse, it dies. This car, well, it can die depending if you put some time and maintenance into this vehicle. Alright, finally, we're increasing speed. We got a downhill coming up. So get ready to upshift right about now. Bruh. I mean, this thing sounds like it's gonna stall out of me. Let me take a look at the dynograph real quick. I want to see how the engine's behaving. So here's the torque curve. Look at the line. We're like bouncing between 2 to 3 brake horsepower. We're mostly around 3. Torque wise, around 12 to 13 foot-pounds of torque. And with this, the miles per gallon right here on the right of your screen, we're getting 21.7 miles per gallon. Or right around 22 now. That's pretty bad for an inline 3 engine, and we got a downhill coming. So left turn signal at... why is the center brake light a turn signal and not just a brake light? It's weird, man. What if I pull up my right turn signal? Whoops. Right turn signal. It's doing it as is. We're going 30 miles an hour with this vehicle. 31, 32. 33, 34, almost 35 miles an hour with this vehicle, and we're dropping speed right now in second gear. That is inexcusable for a vehicle, man. Around 25 miles an hour and still dropping. If I would showcase a sports model, this would definitely be okay in second gear, third gear, or fourth gear. I don't know. I mean, if you put a lot of gears into this vehicle, it'll be pretty expensive for this type of car. This car is supposed to be cheap, not expensive. Hence the word, the people's car, and the trim model, the poverty edition. And second of all, is this the... Okay, let's go make this right turn here. We're going off-road. We're doing some Baja type of stuff. Go to speech here. And here we go, increase the speed. Up to 30 miles an hour, 31. We hit almost 32 right there. And we just bottomed out. 31 miles an hour. Let's just get into the deep part of sand here. And let's just do some off-roading. And we got a downshift. And not only that, we're getting almost 30 miles per gallon. 29 point something, and we're dropping. And go up this hill here. We're really losing speed because of the sand. And 3 miles an hour. Oh my god, man. Alright, get up this hill. Can we? We're stuck. Bro, over rev risk? Let's just let the car back up and get around this hill. Dude, I'm having a hard time getting this vehicle going. We're going half a mile an hour. Airspeed saying 1 mile an hour, but I don't think that is the case. You know what? Let's just end its misery by drowning this vehicle in the ocean. Let me get ready to dynograph real quick. Alright, finally increasing speed, because we're going slightly downhill. Let's just end its misery right here. Going 7 miles an hour, into the water you go. Engine flooding with water, engine is hydrolocking, engine locked up, and engine is hydrolocked, and engine broken. Nah, like I haven't realized. Alright, so we'll do one more drive on here. Let's see if we get a top speed run going with this vehicle, because this is a good downhill section. It seems like this part of the map here. We're going roughly 20 miles per hour, and I think this is a 50 kilometer per hour zone right here, which I think 50 kilometers is roughly 30 miles an hour. So we're going a little bit under the speed limit, but once we hit this downhill stretch here, we're definitely going to be going over the speed limit of this road here. And not only that, once we get a top speed, let's see if we can do a brake test with this vehicle. So we're going 30 right now. Our top speed is 37 miles an hour. So 33, 34. Come on. Got this little bend right here, so make this corner. 34, a good downhill. And top speed, get ready for the brakes. Now. That was 35, but whatever. So 35 to 0 in 3.48 seconds of 84.45 feet. Wow, not only that, we got 50 miles per gallon. That's great for an inline 3. Like, now that's great. Not getting the 20-something miles per gallon. Let's just end its misery right here. That was an underwhelming crash. So let's take a look at the damage of this vehicle. And looking at it, are you kidding me? This made a big-ass dent by just hitting a tree at like, what, 10, 15 miles per hour? Front end even worse. Not even worse, but as bad as this right here. Hold on. Before I do a time trial run, let's take us to the highway and just crash into this thing at high speed with a heavy vehicle. So right here, I got the Gavro Roamer, the facelift version of the Roamer. And what I'm about to do is smash into this thing at roughly like 75 miles an hour into the back of the people's car here at the highway portion of the map here. So let's get things started here with the Roamer now. And see what the extent of the damage would be like if I smash into this thing at pretty high speed. So going 60 miles an hour, get a good rear ender right here. Okay, get a camera going. 77 miles an hour. I think when we hit it, it's going to be like 78, 79, roughly. All right, 16 times. Controller's acting retarded yet again. All right, unpause. Go to 16 times now. And smash. And damn, that was a pretty good smash, man. So now switch to people's car and see what the extended damage is like. So 80 kilometers is the speed limit of this highway. I think we're probably going to be going more than that, and we're stuck. Yo, we're stuck with the Roamer just sexually on top, well, in the people's car. And can we move around with the Roamer or no? I can't steer. I can't steer. I got an idea. Steer with the... Oh my god. I think the people's car... We can't steer with the roamer, but we can steer with the people's car. This is stupid, man. I just unintentionally made a long wheelbase of either the people's car or the roamer here. You probably extended this out by like 8 feet roughly. 7 to 8 feet. This vehicle, and... Damn, that was a pretty good smash there. And we're coming up to the underpass here, the highway. This thing's overheating, and... Wow, I thought that curb hit would be pretty brutal. Okay, it's overheating, it seems like, of the roamer, hence the vehicle's engine smoking right here. I want to get like a head-on crash to see what it's like with the roamer on top of the people's car here. I mean, this would probably be interesting, the damage once I do get into a crash this vehicle on top of it. Alright, vehicle's slowing down. We got significant damage to the roamer's engine, and we're really slowing down, so get a crash right here into this little divider here for the exit in the highway. So 38 miles an hour into here. What's it gonna be like? So slow it down all the way. Go to 8 times. Alright, get a better camera. 16 to bang. Damn, that thing really folded up. So full time. Okay. That thing is a total loss now, both for the roamer and the people's car. So back this boy up if we can. Can we back this up or... Nope, we can't. And this vehicle's engine is hella toast. Yeah, the gasket, piston rings damaged. Everything's damaged in this vehicle. Oh god, rod bearings damaged. This thing's gonna blow up, so shut it off. So here is the people's car. And... doing the camera glitch again where you just reset the camera. It does that because of the extensive damage in this vehicle. And oh my chassis. The chassis doesn't really exist. This is part of the engine. Are you kidding me? That's the freaking engine right there, right at the rear of the vehicle, because that's the rear axle, rear suspension, and right here is the front of the vehicle, so you got the engine at the back of the vehicle. That's insane, man. So now, we're going to be doing a time trial with this vehicle here. We're going to stay at the map of Italy, and we're going to be doing the through the center race, which I believe it's a race just racing around a certain part of the village of this map here. And we're going to be doing 1 lap of this vehicle because we do like more than 2 or 3 laps. This video will get hella boring because this vehicle is pretty slow. And make things even more interesting, we're going to do a night race. So now, let's take you to the starting line and make things worse for this vehicle. So here we are at the starting line of this race, and these rear brake lights are hella bright, man. Headlights are alright. Let's take a look at the headlights, and they're also hella bright. So enough of that. Let's get things started here in 3, 2, 1, start. Go? I think we're stuck. And not only that, I think I've raced here before with the, I think the patent motor wagon, the AMG model of the motor wagon, where it was a modernized, somewhat modernized version of the original 1886 Benz patent motor wagon. Like it was made like 5-10 years after the founding of AMG. They put like a 60 horsepower engine in that vehicle to make it fast but somewhat uncontrollable because, 1, of having a buttload of wheel spin, and 2, because it oversteers like crazy, and I'm not even capable of doing this race because it's stuck. Let me try another one. How about mini village loop? Do that. Same thing. Night race, 3 laps, go. Alright, got it working, I think. Did we get it working? And yes, I finally got it working. What I had to do is basically rock it back and forth to get it free from inside the ground, and doing that, we're finally rolling. So let's just roll on with this course and see what it's like driving this damn car. And get ready to upshift. Well, now, wow. And let's not brake here because this thing is so slow, it can handle a quarter like nothing. So now, upshift. Damn, it's a brutal uphill. Can it conquer the uphill or... barely. If the uphill was like another like 5-10 degrees higher in, damn. If it was like another 5 or 10 degrees higher in slope, then it wouldn't be possible to conquer the uphill. And wow, this is a short course. So first lap, we're gonna get a lap time of I think 1 minute 35 seconds something milliseconds. So Oh no, 1 minute, 36 seconds, 397 milliseconds. Once you complete the second lap, I think our lap time will be like 50 seconds or 40 seconds, because the first lap was me trying to get the car free, which now we got it free. Look at 33 second difference in the first split time of the first checkpoint from the first lap and the second lap. So second lap time, 1 minute, 147 milliseconds. This is embarrassing. Embarrassing and hella painful for this type of vehicle. Not only that, the clutch was going insane. As you've seen it when I was in second gear. If I get second gear again, I'll show you the clutch in the bottom left. You'd see it in the bottom left. I mean, it kind of did right there. And wow, handled even better. Instead of going 5 miles an hour up the hill, I went like 10 miles an hour. That's great. And see the clutch? Going like 0 to 100, like really insane, like mentally insane, like it doesn't even know what to do just to prevent this vehicle from getting stalled out. And now we're gonna finish this course. We're saying first gear. Finish this course, the third lap time of 49 seconds, 286 milliseconds, our best lap of this course, with a total time of 3 minutes, 25 seconds, 811 milliseconds. That is horrible for this type of vehicle, man. So let's go to free roam, camera everything as is, crash into that. So last part of the video, let's see if this vehicle could fly by taking it to Car Jump Arena and see if this thing could clear the ramp and get down the little downhill section before we get to the pool. So here we are at Car Jump Arena, the green lights are on, so let's just get going right now. So let's see if this thing can upshift in first gear with it being in arcade mode once we get down to the bottom of the ramp here, and it does. And prepare your eardrums, over rev risk, engine torque reduced, it's doing some Daft Punk stuff, and dead. So we're well going over 100 miles an hour with this vehicle. 115 at the exit, and almost nailed it. It was an awkward landing, but we pretty much almost nailed it. And here we go into the sand, bump up, and wow, almost skidded into the water perfectly. And that thing just dropped like a freaking brick, man, into the water. So let's do that again, but try to do it a little bit slower, just to get an interesting crash going once we reach the bottom of the ramp. So shut the engine off so you don't have to listen to some pitch increasing, all that good stuff once the engine blows up. Alright, so begin to brake. Let's aim around like 90 miles an hour. 95. Fair enough with that collision. So camera as is, speed as is, we're just going to let it tumble down. Let it tumble down mercilessly until something else happens. And this thing is hella bent up, radiator leaking. And there, the car at a rest. We're doing a 3-wheel motion with the back left tire lifted up on the ground here. In terms of damage, this thing got shifted over pretty good. Because there's the back of the car, and it's kind of like... I'll get a better look. Yeah, instead of like a straight line, it got shifted over like a good like 15-20 degrees to the right. Instead of being straight, it's over here. As you can see with the look at the vehicle here and the front end, damn, we compacted this down pretty good. Alright, last part of the video, bring this down to the bottom of the bridge and crash at the last bridge pillar and just get a crash going at a high speed to see what the damage is like crashing at a good, I'm guessing 90 to 100 miles an hour into that bridge pillar. So here we go, a first gear to second, and here comes the downhill stretch of this bridge. And I'm thinking right around 90 miles an hour, so shut the engine off before it goes to techno wizardry again. I should have kept the accelerator down just to get a 0 to 60 test, which 0 to 60 going down the ramp was 13.28 seconds. So guessing down this bridge would be like 20 seconds roughly. And hop the curb here and get ready for a crash at, yeah, I was right, 90 miles an hour. Alright, get ready. 100 times slow-mo. And bang. There goes the front. Still coming in. It got bent up pretty good. Go to 8 times slow-mo. And nothing else interesting, so full time. Damn, that front end got crunched up pretty good. Let's bring this over here and see to extend the damage. And not only that, is parking brake on? Nope, turn parking brake on. So the front end, pretty much like most cars, just flat on the front end, especially for the shape of this vehicle. Flat front end. And can the engine power on? What? Wait, can it start? That was a brutal startup. We do it again. Shut it off. Turn it back on. It struggles to start up unless you hit the gas. So hit the gas. Wow, you have to hit the gas once you turn the car on. That's stupid. Yeah, this thing got crunched up big time and the rear end got involved. Is that the chassis? Yeah, that's the chassis right there. Just squished in. It's protruding out the back end of the vehicle. And the exhaust is kind of protruding too and bent up like crazy. It's pretty weird. So the front end got flattened. Chassis got moved back. Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of this vehicle. So that'll do it with automation and BeamNG.drive with the People's Car Poverty Edition. This car might be the worst car I've ever made since the Crapmobile version 2, which was made almost 2 years ago. With this low of a horsepower rating, top speed, and acceleration, I don't really see how this vehicle could be practical for everyday driving. It may be useful for people who drive downhill, going uphill. Good luck with that. While this vehicle is cheap, you can get in an accident with this vehicle and it can get easily repaired and won't cost you a fortune. Regardless if you have insurance or the body panel is just split into 1,000 pieces when you get rear-ended at like 10-15 miles an hour. Also, if you have a non-modded car that's cheaper than this one, let me know down below so I can step off the throne for the cheapest automation BeamNG car ever made. So this has been Mr. Jacking000. I'll see you in the next video.